to start whenever.
As long as it's in the next 30 seconds.
Alright. Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, and LeBron James are examples of players that have made a successful jump from high school basketball to the NBA. However, this isn't the case for most of the players. This brings me to my topic, the NBA draft rule change. And my major claim is the NBA's decision to change the draft requirements benefits the athletes. So some terms I need to define are the NBA, which is the National Basketball Association. The original NBA draft rule states that players are allowed to enter the NBA draft after 4 years of high school. And according to the NCAA, the current draft rule right now, effective as of 2006, states that players must be at least 19 years old and must be 1 year removed from the graduation of his or her high school class. So this brings me to my first claim. The age limit forces high school students to enroll at a college for at least a year. Students are able to receive a college education, and some might say, what if they can't pay for the tuition? According to athleticscholarship.net, 329 Division I colleges offer scholarships, and 290 Division II colleges offer scholarships. And out of those Division I colleges, each Division I college offers 13 full-ride scholarships, and each of the Division II colleges offer 10 scholarships each. So players can play at a high level, which is the Division I or Division II level, without paying any money out of their pocket, or they'll just pay at a low cost. Some might also say, what if the players need to play professional basketball to financially pay for or support their family? There's other options, such as they are able to play in other professional leagues. For example, players have the option to play professionally in Europe. A great example of this is Brandon Jennings. According to Charles Zager, who wrote an article on Brandon Jennings, the title was Brandon Jennings Goes to Europe. Brandon Jennings failed to qualify to go to the University of Arizona. He wasn't able to pass his SATs, so he became the first American high school player to play overseas. He played in an Italian league and was reportedly paid $600,000, so he made some pretty good money for 1 year. And the year after he played in Italy, he was drafted 10th overall in the 2009 NBA draft. So even though he played overseas and not a lot of Americans kept an eye on him, he was still able to come back and was picked at a very high rate. So if the players don't want to go overseas, they still have an option to be paid in another professional league, and the league is the NBA's developmental league, and that's short for, which is also short for D-League. So the players are paid in the D-League, and according to Dan Shanat, who's an analyst, he says that players are coached by professional coaches and staff whose job is to prepare them and develop them for the NBA. So they're constantly around the staff whose job is to prepare them to go to the next level. So in conclusion, even though the players can't go straight to the NBA, they still have the option they still have a lot of options. One of them would be to go to a college, still play at a high level, and at a low cost. They'll get an education, and they'll even get the college experience. And if they decide not to do that, they still have an option to go overseas or go to the D-League and get paid. And therefore, the new change in the draft requirement doesn't hinder their chances of being successful, but instead it benefits them and helps their career. Thank you.
Right, it really seems like the argument is more about how the new rules don't have a negative consequence on the young players as opposed to how it benefits them in any particular case. And I think that that probably would be a better way to phrase your proposition, because everything after your first point is really a rebuttal argument. You're anticipating arguments, what if they need to work, or once they're out of school, shouldn't they be able to play and earn a living? And all of your arguments seem to be geared toward answering challenges to the policy as opposed to giving us a justification for the policy in the first place. I don't know what the justification for the policy is, and you're not telling us that the policy in fact meets that justification, which is what your claim seems to suggest you're doing, but like I said, you're kind of going at it in a backward sort of way. I thought you did an okay job signposting the structure during the body of the speech, but there's no preview of that in the content. You've got lots of good factual data in the presentation, a couple of good quotes, and several good examples that you can use to support your point. I just think that the generalization is really different than what you present as the main proposition, and so that creates a little bit of a problem. All right, thank you.